Coming at you live from Cooper's house. I'm here with my buds, Cooper and Dylan. And today, we're going to be diving into the book of the Nickel Boys. A book full of horror and violence of the ways of Nickel Academy and how they shape the childhoods of young men. With various extra contexts of segregation involvement, today we will be addressing the importance of various factors throughout the story. This is DCA Podcast. So Cooper, what do you think is important to acknowledge in the book so far?
What I think is important to acknowledge so far is the constant symbols and motifs used throughout the story that affect Elwood and his newfound activism.
What specific motifs or symbols show this influence?
First, I would like to start with Martin Luther King. The vinyl that Elwood has, because obviously, that has been a constant motif that's appeared throughout the story that's taught Elwood a lot of things, especially with his, activism that he's beginning to develop. And I think that it taught him a lot of dignity and showed him a lot of significance. I also think that Mr. Hill is not only a motif that is used to influence him, but also kind of encourage him, especially shown through the civil rights movement, the protest at the theater. I think that he's a very good motif that does teach Elwood how to pursue that certain purpose that he wants to pursue in life that doesn't involve a lot of activism. So I think that's very important to acknowledge so far.
Thank you, Cooper. I like that. Well, so far in the book, I would like to talk about the importance of the world-building aspects. Colson Whitehead builds a world that shows both Elwood's hope for justice and the harsh reality of racism around him. This makes Elwood's situation feel real and makes the readers understand how unfair and dangerous the world was for black boys like him. So, Dylan, what are your thoughts about the book so far?
So far, I would say it's very focused on Elwood's character and the steps he's taken so far to get where he's at and where he's hoping to go, and his role models of Martin Luther King, Harriet, and Mr. Hill, and even in some ways Mr. Marconi, his boss, as they're all people that are influencing him or trying to push him to the next level to be a better person, such as Mr. Hill offering him the opportunity to go to a better schooling, or even Mr. Marconi giving him a job and also being supportive about the schooling. And then Harriet, she's just there to provide stability in his life, someone he can go and talk to, and she's also put in these public figures in his mind, such as Dr. King, to kind of follow in their footsteps and influence his development.
Okay. Cooper, what challenge or failure has Elwood and other characters in the story experienced up to this point?
Honestly, to start, a vast majority of the black community following Martin Luther King, as well as many other civil rights activists, are currently experiencing a lot of inequality through society and cultural standards, especially shown through the places that Elwood goes and the experiences that he's done, especially with the robbing of the store, for example, or all those protests that he goes to.
So, what about you, Dylan? What challenges have you noticed so far?
So far, I've noticed that Elwood's been challenged with profiling in the community. He's been profiled at work, through the education system, and even at the end of section 1 when he and Rodney were pulled over and the white officer makes a snarky comment about their race and the vehicle they were in. I find that wild that just because Rodney and Elwood were black, they're getting profiled about the vehicle they're in and just the area they're in. And
Agreed. Well, I do appreciate you guys for answering and allowing us to truly go into the book of the Nickel Boys and the importance of the meticulous world that Colson Whitehead has made. However, to the audience, what do you think is more important to you in the book so far? How did you find out? If you're unsure, make sure to catch us in the next episode where we dig even deeper. Thank you for listening to the DCA podcast. Catch you next time.